Hello, I am Nicole, one of the registered dietitians for Community Physicians Network Bariatric and Medical Weight Loss Services at our South Office. Thank you for watching our Supervised Weight Loss presentation for this month to meet your insurance and our program education requirements to better prepare you for bariatric surgery and continue on your weight loss journey. This supervised weight loss class would be typically taught in a small group setting at our office, but due to restrictions at this time, we are sending out links to watch individually at your home. You will also receive handouts by mail that go along with the presentation you have watched. Our topic this month is preparing for post-op or after surgery intake, including protein intake, meal plan, vitamins and supplements, and possible obstacles for after surgery. First, we will start with a review, and then we will go through information on this month's topic. First, with our review, please make sure you're keeping food journals and you're using it every day. With keeping food journals, it is your choice on if you prefer to do written food journals in your own notebook or purchasing a notebook from somewhere that is a specific food journal, or free phone apps that are available. As a reminder, food journals are required both before and after surgery, meaning these are not optional. You want to track as much detail as possible. Be honest, put down everything that you eat and drink, vitamins that you're taking and other supplements, and then start getting used to counting protein grams and fluid ounces, as this is something important for after surgery. You want to review your food journals each day to see the progress on the meal plan and behavior changes you've been working on from that checklist you got at your first nutrition appointment, and areas that you'd like to improve upon. Next, that checklist that you got at the very first visit with the dietitian, either in a group class or in an individual setting, is something you want to review every week. And once you feel like you're making good progress on those, check off once you're doing well with some of those changes and continue to work on other goals. So we review this every class. First thing is 3 meals that are balanced meals every day. Your metabolism is like a car. If we don't get that fuel in your car to let it know to burn calories and that it's safe to burn calories spread throughout the day, then that can slow that metabolism down. Also, it's hard to get everything in at one meal after surgery with having smaller stomach volume as well. So with balanced meals, you want to make sure you're having low fat or lean protein spread throughout your meals. And you want it at every meal, possibly at planned snacks as well. And that's only if you need snacks. When you're trying to make sure you have enough protein at your meals before surgery, your protein goal is 4 ounces or a half cup, up to 1 cup or 8 ounces after it's cooked at your meal. For snacks, if you choose to have them, it would be 1 ounce or 1/8 of a cup up to about 4 ounces or a half cup as a planned snack if needed. And then I mentioned you want it to be low fat or lean protein. So when you're looking at a label on the back of a packaged product that's in the low fat proteins list, you want there to be more protein grams than total fat grams per serving. The other part of balanced meals is having fiber spread throughout the day, and the bulk of your fiber will come from what we call non-starchy vegetables. Those are the crunchier veggies, the ones that are not corn, peas, potatoes, or sweet potatoes of any kind. Keep in mind, avocados and olives also do not count as a vegetable. If you choose to have them, they count for heart-healthy fats, which we'll cover in just a moment. On your vegetables, you want to have them at least 2 times a day. So at least 1 serving. You can have more than 1 serving at that time, and at least 2 times in the day. Most common people do it at lunch and dinner. You can also plan to have them at other times, such as breakfast or planned snacks as well. Next is watching our portions. We're going to be doing restrictive surgery. So with that being said, you want to get used to watching your portions. You do not have to eat as small as you would after surgery, but use your handouts from your first nutrition appointment to help guide you in watching portions now. When I say watching portions, that means using standard measuring cups and spoons. We do not want to eyeball portions or just say I had a spoon of this and a handful or a fist of that, but actual standard measuring cups and spoons. So cut your food into little pieces and put them on in there. We're also limiting carbohydrates in our diet. Some carbs like bread, rice, and pasta ball up and expand and feel like they're kind of stuck in your new stomach. So we want to be swapping those items out and finding alternatives that you might like, such as lettuce wraps or rice cut vegetables like cauliflower, and also other items that have higher carbs like granola bars and desserts and chips and crackers and pretzels and cereal don't really expand, but they slide through your new stomach, not making you as full, and your body uses a small amount of it for energy, and the leftovers is stored in our natural storage forms, which is your fat cells. So finding good alternatives. And then also with fats, you're going to be doing a higher protein, lower carb, limited fat meal plan. So by doing significant lean protein, you're still going to get fat in your meal plan. If you'd like to add healthy fats, you want them to be what we call heart healthy fats, which come from plant-based foods such as avocados or olives, nuts, seeds, oils. If you like salad dressings, we would recommend to go for more oil-based like your Italian or your vinaigrettes. And then if you would like to do creamy dressings, there are healthier ranch, blue cheese, Parmesan Asiago, Caesar options. If you look in the produce section by your bagged lettuce, they make ones made with yogurt. Name brands examples would be Bolthouse, Lighthouse, and Opa. We are again limiting those fats, so we're trying to limit them to fiberless fat servings spread throughout the day, so not all at one meal or at one snack time. Decreasing dining out and frozen dinners. The maximum amount of meals you're trying to have in the week if you desire to dine out, and that includes any fast food, sit down, carry out, delivery, and or frozen dinners like your Atkins frozen dinners or your lean cuisines, to at most 3 meals or less per week. Reason being is how you make something versus how a restaurant makes something is going to be totally different. So there can be a lot of hidden sodium and fat and possible carbs. Also, at restaurants, they are pre-portioning stuff out, and that might not be the appropriate portion to have at that time. You might be getting not enough vegetables and too big of a portion of protein. So this makes it so that you can control what you're having more. And then additionally, when frozen dinners, if you would make your own kind of meal that you either homemade and then froze, that does not count as a frozen dinner. Also, if you grab something like frozen pre-grilled chicken and put it with like steamed broccoli and riced cauliflower, that would not count as a frozen dinner. Those are all separate components that you're putting together as a meal. Next is staying adequately hydrated. So your goal is 64 ounces or more of water daily. You want half or more of that to be plain water. Half or less could be flavored water if it's really 5 calories or less. So we're also getting rid of carbonation. That would be in diet soda, regular soda, sparkling water, seltzer water, and Alka-Seltzer. The carbonation expands in that stomach and over time can expand your pouch back out. And we're trying also not to drink calories from our beverages best you can. So avoiding any beverages with calories like juice, even 100% fruit juice, sweet teas, flavored coffees with creamer in them, alcohol, any other type of beverages that have calories as well. We want to limit caffeine. The goal is 16 ounces or less in the day if you desire to have caffeine, and that would be from any caffeine source that doesn't have calories or carbonation. So coffee, tea. Do remember that green tea is still caffeinated. There are Crystal Lights and Mios that have caffeine, so check the label. Bai water as well has caffeine. And then you want to be taking daily vitamins before surgery. So your pre-surgery vitamins, if you choose to do all over the counters, are listed here. You have your multivitamin. You want a complete one, no gummies with that. Examples would be like your Centrum, your one-a-day, generic versions of those, and also Flintstones if you'd want a hard chewable. You just need one of those a day. And you want to take it away from your calcium for best absorption. You want 500 to 600 milligrams of calcium, and you want the form that says citrate, and you want it to come with vitamin D to help you absorb it. You're going to be taking that dose twice daily to total 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of your calcium. Lastly, if you're choosing over-the-counter vitamins to start, 3,000 IUs of vitamin D3 in addition to what's in your multivitamin and in your calcium. We do have some patients that desire to start bariatric brand vitamins, as those will put your complete multivitamin together with your calcium so that you're not having to purchase as much. Next is routine cardio, and we want to spread that throughout the day, or you can do it all at one time, whatever works best for you. The goal is at least 30 minutes or more at one time or spread throughout the day, and at least 3 or more days per week if you can of that routine cardio. You do not have to go to the gym for this. You can do stuff at home. You can do videos online. You can walk around inside. You can do stuff with items at home like canned goods. but find some type of routine cardio that works for you. Next, we always recommend that you look at your progress and give yourself credit, pat yourself on the back for any meal plans, goals, behavior changes that you've made over the past month. Next, you want to look at areas that you'd like to improve. We recommend to set a few goals for the month. If you want to set goals each week, you can do that as well. And then also try new foods, try new recipes so that making a new meal plan change is more enjoyable for you. If you're struggling to find recipes on plan, do not hesitate to contact one of the dietitians. When you're preparing for surgery, all of these meal plan and behavior changes are going to resemble how your life will be after surgery, to go hand in hand with the tool of surgery to lose weight and prevent weight regain. So you're getting these tools ahead of time by practicing them best you can now to go along with the tool of surgery. Also, by following the meal plan, you'll reduce your glycogen stores, which is in your liver. This helps to reduce the size of your liver to keep surgery laparoscopic and make it easier on your surgeon for doing your surgery. The healthy way of eating will also jumpstart your weight loss. Everyone has a goal to be at or below their consult weight. Your ultimate goal is to lose 10% of your excess weight if you can prior to surgery, unless the surgeon has told you an additional goal. Most people do find as you reduce the amount of carbohydrate foods that you're eating, that you eat less food, you get full longer and stay full longer, and you have less cravings for items not on plan. The first of the two surgeries that we do is Roux-en-Y. This one's been done probably the longest. And this is both a restrictive and a malabsorptive procedure. So restrictive meaning we're making your stomach smaller. Your new stomach or pouch is going to be about 2 ounces or the size of an egg. This is going to let less food in at one time. And all of the stitches on the inside are going to take about 4 weeks to heal. Malabsorptive meaning we're going to be rerouting some of the small intestines in there. So if you notice on the image, you'll see a new stomach that's smaller, and then your old stomach is still in there. Next to those two stomachs there, you'll see your liver and your gallbladder, which make enzymes to help break down and absorb your food. So what happens is those enzymes enter into your GI tract through your small intestine there right below your part of your stomach you're not using. So what happens is the surgeons reattach your small intestines further down where you see that kind of green and red mix and turn into a black arrow. And what that's showing is the food that's emptying from your new stomach are able to mix with your enzymes to break down and absorb. The big thing to remember is the first part of your intestines is where you tend to absorb a lot of vitamins and minerals, and we're not using that portion. You can still absorb them further down, but this will make it so you're going to be on vitamins and minerals for life after surgery to make sure you don't get any deficiencies. The Roux-en-Y is reversible if medically necessary. We rarely end up having to reverse it though. The other surgery that people are doing now between our two surgeons is the sleeve gastrectomy. And this is mainly a restrictive procedure, meaning we're making the stomach smaller. Again, the new stomach holds about 2 ounces or the size of an egg, so less food gets in. Stitches, again, take about 4 weeks or a month to heal. There is some possible decreased absorption of your vitamins and minerals due to the new stomach angle being more vertical or up and down. And this makes it so food empties a little bit more quickly than if you wouldn't have had surgery from your stomach into your intestines, making it have less time for the food to be broken down in your stomach and possibly less absorption of certain vitamins and minerals. For this reason of the smaller amount of food coming in and possible decrease in absorption, you'll be on vitamins and minerals for life as well. With this surgery, the old stomach that you see pictured to the right is actually going to be removed and biopsied, and this makes it not reversible. After surgery, when you're awake and doing well, we will start you with ice chips just to make sure that you're swallowing okay, and then you're going to go on a special meal plan for about 2 months. The first part of the meal plan is called Phase 1, and this is full liquids. You get 2 ounces or a total of a quarter cup at each meal and or planned snack. Some examples of full liquids include items like sugar-free applesauce, sugar-free pudding, light or fat-free yogurt. When you're in the hospital, you'll start this and you're going to stay on it for week 1 and week 2. You'll also start protein supplements in the hospital. And lastly, you will start vitamins once you go home from the hospital. The next phase is 2. And this is pureed foods. You get 2 ounces or a quarter cup total per meal or planned snack. Examples would be cottage cheese, baby food. You'll get a whole list of this stuff once you have been approved and go to a pre-op nutrition class. You'll be on this week 3 and week 4. Now that the stitches on the inside are mostly healed, you will advance to what's called phase 3 or modified soft foods. You get at most 2 ounces at a meal and or planned snack, which is the same as that quarter cup. And because everything's healed, we're going to increase the texture. Soft means that you don't have to puree anymore. But if you are cooking the item, you want to cook it so it's nice and soft. So no lightly steamed vegetables. You want them to get nice and soft. Some people choose to use canned. And with your proteins, you wouldn't want to be cooking them where they get stringier. You want it to be softer cooking. So canned chicken, slow cooker meat, steaming or poaching so that it's nice and soft. And then with your fruits and that you don't cook, you want to make sure you take any skins or peels off or avoid fruits that are stringier like your cuties and your oranges. You're going to cut your food into small pieces about the size of a pea or an eraser at the end of a pencil and practice chewing them up really well to make sure that when you go to swallow them, it feels like applesauce in your mouth, nice and smooth. That'll be week 5 through week 8. Once you're a full 2 months out, we can go back to regular textured foods starting at week 9. And your portion will still start off with 2 ounces, but we're going to gradually increase up to 3 ounces and so forth. Regular texture does mean that you can finally have lightly steamed vegetables that are raw, including your salads or doing lettuce wraps, fruits with their skin and stringier fruits. And if you desire to have grilled or tough, stringier proteins like lean jerky, those would be on plan at that time. I would still recommend that you cut your food into little pieces and again, chew them up well 25, 30 times before you swallow it so it feels smooth like applesauce in your mouth before you swallow it. We'll slowly increase your volume over the next year to 8 ounces or a cup at a meal. And again, the goal is to slowly increase, so it should take you up to a year out after surgery to get there. As you get more protein at your meals, we're going to decrease the usage of protein supplements between your meals with our goal to get off of them between 3 to 6 months out. And the best way to know when can you stop these will be tracking in your food journals how much protein you're getting from your meals, planned snacks as well. With protein after surgery, you have a specific gram goal. The goal is 60 to 80 grams in the day, unless your labs indicate otherwise that we might need to go higher. How do you know how much protein you're getting in? Well, that's those food journals that you're starting now. We will continue with those after surgery. That's why we want you to review it every single day to see how well you're meeting goals. And use the label on any packaged products to appropriately count your protein grams. At first, you will use protein supplements after surgery, so you will also use them before surgery, possibly for snacks, but for sure using them on your pre-surgery diet, which is 2 weeks before surgery. With protein supplements, there's something that's a useful tool when you're not able to get enough protein at your meal. So they're called a supplement because they're made to do as a snack in between to help get the protein that you're not getting at your meal time. They have pre-mixed options, powders, so you want to find what you like. And when I say you get one that you like, you want to make sure you don't need to plug your nose or chug it to get it down. So your preference on if you'd like a powdered or a pre-mixed, also known as ready-to-drink protein supplements. Just because it says it's got protein on the label or that it's a good product, you still need to check the back to make sure it follows the label reading guidelines. We want to make sure there's enough protein in it to supplement, but we also want to make sure it's not a meal replacer because you're having meals. So first thing you start with is the serving size. On the premix, it normally will say that's the entire package or container, but the powders, this is where you really need to pay attention. One brand might say 1 scoop, another brand might say 2 heaping scoops, and if you only measure 1 scoop out and it should have been 2, we won't get quite as much protein. Next, we want 200 calories or less per serving, less than 3 grams of fat per 100 calories, 5 grams or less of sugar per serving, and at least 20 grams of protein. The last thing you want to check on the label is the ingredients to make sure it's coming from a good protein source, meaning it's going to have all the building blocks your body needs so we're not pulling from elsewhere. So that would include items like whey protein isolate, soy protein, egg white, quinoa, and calcium caseinate. Please avoid ones that are made from collagen, hemp, pea, or rice. Those are missing essential building blocks. With the powders that you need to mix up, you can mix them with water if they are a more desserty or sweeter flavor. Some people desire to mix those more with milk to get a better flavor. So your 1% or skim milk, lactose-free milks that are 1% or skim. That does include if you like the Kroger Carb Master milk or the fat-free Fairlife or the 1% Fairlife milk. Unflavored soy milk, light flavored soy milk. A lot of people also like to put vanilla protein powder into 0-calorie flavored water to make it creamsicle flavored, coffee and tea that's decaffeinated. With protein supplements, if you would like to try them before surgery, please make sure that you do not do them too frequently, as you can get burnt out and not drink them when you need to drink them after surgery. So at most 1 time in the day as a snack, not as a meal, and at most 3 days a week. You will use them on the pre-surgery or pre-op diet, which is 2 weeks before your surgery. So if you do not want to try them until right then, that's not a problem. After surgery, you'll use them between your meals as planned snacks. The first month, you'll typically be drinking 2 to 3 of them a day between your meal. Then months 2 through 3, you'll decrease down to 1 to 2 a day. Months 4 through 6, the goal is to work off of them, so 0 to 1 in the day, so that once you're 6 months out, to be mainly getting protein from whole foods at your meals and planned snacks without using protein supplements. Vitamins and minerals will be an important part of your life both before and after surgery. They do help with your health in numerous ways, including regulating your metabolism and also helping you break down your food appropriately and absorbing what's in there. They're going to need to be taken the rest of your life. Again, not just pre-surgery, not just for a few months after surgery, but for life. So you want to get used to getting into a routine now. We will check your vitamin levels before surgery and after surgery quite frequently first, and then we'll spread out to annually. So after surgery, you're on more vitamins than what we talked about for before surgery. We will increase your multivitamin typically up to 2 a day unless you get a bariatric brand that says otherwise. Calcium, you'll typically do 2 to 3 times a day. We're already doing it twice a day beforehand, so it might be a little bit more. Vitamin B12 daily, vitamin D3 daily, iron with vitamin C, possibly a B50 or a B100 complex, and then optional vitamins like fish oil and biotin. That sounds like a lot of vitamins, I know. Do keep in mind, because your stomach's so small, we cannot take a big giant handful of vitamins. And because it is got a lot of swelling and less acid in it after surgery, you're going to be doing chewable vitamins for the first 3 months. And then after 3 months, you can switch back to pills if desired. For the best absorption, we also can't take them all together. Certain vitamins and minerals do not absorb together well, like calcium and iron, so they need to be spaced apart at least a couple of hours. Most of us tend to take a big giant handful, and not only will you not absorb them because it's too many at one time, that's a lot of big pills to go into your new tiny stomach that has a lot of scar tissue, and we don't want it to get stuck in there. So if you have a larger pill, like your multivitamin or something like a metformin, you want to spread them out every 10 minutes. Something smaller, pea-sized or less, you could take 2 or 3 at a time, like your vitamin D, or if you're on a allergy pill or a blood pressure pill, those all tend to be tiny. So start practicing that now. There are some vitamins we do want you to avoid both before and after surgery. So if we start on the left, you'll see gummy vitamins. First, there is sugar in those, and we're trying to avoid added sugar best you can. Next, with the gummy vitamins, they are nice and soft and gummy because they're missing essential vitamins and trace minerals that your body needs so they can stay nice and soft. So please steer clear from those. If you have them currently, if you would like to finish them, you can, but then once you finish them, please do not continue to purchase them. Then if you go to the top of the screen, we have our all-in-one bariatric vitamins that say that you can put everything together and just take one chewable or pill at one time. As I mentioned earlier, calcium and iron do not play nice together, so those need to be separated. If you go to the right part of your screen, you'll see patch vitamins. These look like little stickers that you put on your skin, and you're supposed to absorb everything right through. Unfortunately, no matter how much weight you lose, you're still going to have a layer between your skin or right underneath that has fat in it that blocks a lot of absorption of some of those vitamins that way. So that's why you do not want to choose the patch vitamins. And then there's some vitamins that are drink or tea vitamins, like the example on here of the Tespo, that again combo your iron and your calcium together. If you're ever unsure, you don't want to buy a product and have to send it back or not know if it's the right one, please contact our office by MyChart or by phone so that we can go through the product and let you know if it's on plan. What happens if I don't get my vitamins in? Sometimes I forget. Well, there's some possible side effects, and some of them can be irreversible. So it's very important to get used to getting in a routine of taking them beforehand and spreading them out and then continuing that after surgery. If your vitamin B12 gets low, you might notice tingling in your fingers and toes, have depression, trouble thinking clearly. Vitamin B1 getting low can make you more tired or fatigued, cause nausea to the point that you can be vomiting, have issues concentrating, loss of memory, and walking issues. If your calcium and vitamin D gets low, you might notice muscle cramping. You might have issues where your bones start losing the minerals in them, known as osteoporosis or demineralization, and abnormal heart rhythms. If your folic acid drops, you can be more irritable, have issues with concentrating, weakness, and headache. And when your iron gets low, you can feel very tired or weak to the point of possibly passing out, get dizzy, have chest pain, and have more hair loss after surgery. There are numerous obstacles that you could run into after surgery. So on the handouts you're going to receive, it goes through why you're making some of the meal plan changes to prevent these possible obstacles after surgery so that we're getting used to those meal plan and behavior changes that are tools that help the tool of surgery work. Most common complaints we get are of nausea and vomiting, and a lot of times that's because you're not drinking enough water or you're eating or drinking too much or too fast. So that's why we're trying to practice watching how quickly we're doing our meals and not gulping or chugging, spacing out our meals. Dumping syndrome typically only happens with your Roux-en-Y, and again, that's normally when we're having items that are higher in sugar, higher glycemic index, have higher fat or added fats or fried items, eating and drinking too close to one another. Sometimes caffeine causes this. So if you're following the meal plan, you shouldn't be getting dumping syndrome. Constipation is a common complaint. You are going from normal portioned foods before surgery down to a lot smaller of a portion because you've had surgery. You're also going from regular textured solid foods down to liquids. And they're giving you pain medications, and if you need to use them, use them. But if you don't, because those pain meds do slow things down. And because we're going from solid foods to liquids, that's less fiber. So again, you're doing all of these meal plan and behavior changes to help decrease those chances of constipations by getting back onto your meal plan once you can after surgery. Dehydration is the number one reason most people get readmitted back to the hospital because we're not drinking enough fluids, and we do take drinking enough fluids pretty seriously. Your goal is that 64 ounces or more. So I know right now you might feel like you're drinking a lot, you're going to the bathroom, urinating a lot, but track how much are you really drinking. Goal is that 64 ounces or more. Lack of appetite is very common after surgery. So again, before surgery, that's why we want to practice if you don't have an appetite, not skipping meals. What can you eat that's lighter when you don't have an appetite? How do we get on a schedule to make sure that we're getting our meals in? Taste changes means that what you like now, you might not like after surgery. So please do not go buy something that is on the meal plan that you fall in love with in bulk and just fill up your spare bedroom, because when I say you don't like it after surgery, it's not like you can just plug your nose and get it down. It's causing you to feel nauseated, not sitting well. Hair loss is a common complaint, specifically more for females after surgery, but it happens to both females and males. Most commonly, you'll notice it about 3 to 6 months out, and it can last up to 6 months. The more you follow the meal plan and get your protein in and get your required vitamins in, the more likely the hair is going to slow down in the thinning and grow back. And then having issues with protein and vitamin mineral levels after surgery can happen as well. That is why we check your vitamins quite often, both before surgery and after surgery. The way we check your protein levels is called prealbumin, and this typically shows us how good you've been getting your protein the past couple weeks. Lab values might be off, and again, what is normal for someone who's had bariatric surgery versus what's normal for someone who hasn't is different. So that's why you want to get your labs done with us, so we know those guidelines. Your abnormal lab values might pop up because you're having issues with tolerating protein supplements. What worked before surgery, you had a taste change and it's not working after, or it's sitting too heavy. Same goes for your vitamins and minerals. Otherwise, it can be what we call non-compliance with vitamins, meaning you're not taking them like you're supposed to, or you're having that lack of absorption, such as with the Roux-en-Y, that we might need more than the minimum requirement. Please call our office or send a MyChart message to the dietitian if you're ever having problems both before and after surgery with your vitamins, so that we can figure out what works best for you. And it's important that you continue to follow up with your bariatric surgeon's office for your regular appointments and get your labs done, so that we can check and make sure that we are watching for these deficiencies, as with vitamin deficiencies can take months, if not years, to show up at times, because your body will pull from your stores. After surgery, for females that are desiring to get pregnant, we do want you to wait. Due to you having surgery, you have less absorption and less foods coming in, that we don't have enough stores after surgery at first. So you want to wait at least 12 months, up to 18 months to start to become pregnant. Waiting is important to make sure we get those vitamin, minerals, and protein and nutrition stores back up to support both you and the growing baby. Optimally, we would recommend to wait up to 3 years after surgery before you would try to get pregnant, to decrease weight regain and make it so that it can come back off more easily after you deliver the baby. Next, for any male or female that's interested in donating blood, platelets, or plasma, you want to wait till 12 to 18 months out as well, so we have our vitamins, mineral, and nutrient stores back up, so that after you donate, you can regenerate your blood cells and your platelets and plasma afterwards accordingly. I know they check them right before you donate, but the problem is because you've had surgery, it might look good right then, but you're not going to be able to replenish fast enough for after you donate if you do it too soon. So please wait 12 to 18 months. You will receive handouts in the mail and or by MyChart on either the Roux-en-Y or the sleeve, whichever surgery you discussed with the surgeon and the dietitian that you're interested in. If you have any questions from this presentation, please do not hesitate to call our office at 317-887-7771 or send a MyChart message to the dietitian or dietitian pool, and we'd be happy to discuss your questions or comments. Thank you for listening, and if you need any additional topics or handouts sent to you, please let us know that as well.